Hey everybody, welcome to Fatso Radio, episode number 61. And tonight, my brother from the same mother, Sifu Adam Volpe. Adam, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Gar. Thanks. Good to be here again.
Yeah, thank you. I like your background there. We got it all set up here with the image of the class. I think Lily's in the corner there somewhere.
Yeah, there she is, red yellow belt right there.
That is perfect.
Yeah.
So Adam, thanks so much for joining. It's, this is one of these episodes where I want to catch up, of course, but I want to get into other things like what's going on with COVID, how has it affected you guys, how has it affected me, your kids, your wife, everything, right, from the personal side. But first of all, of course, like I said, welcome back. Give us an update of what's going on with the school, what's going on with, Volpe Martial Arts.
Yeah, school's going, I'll talk pre and post COVID, I guess. Before COVID, things are going really well. Membership keeps growing every month. I have fantastic student population, fantastic families are part of the student body, and they've been really, really good. Post COVID, obviously, our last time we had students in the school was actually your grading, which was March 15th. That was the last time we had any kind of official activities in the academy, and that was the Saturday of the first Saturday of the March break. Since then, we announced that we were shutting down on the Tuesday, which is kind of our first class of the week is usually Tuesdays. We shut down on Tuesday, and then within 2 days you started having virtual classes. So we did not skip a beat. We basically missed 1 day of physical classes and started virtual classes. For the last 3 weeks, we've been doing kind of virtual all ages, all rank kind of group classes 2 times a week. Plus, I usually do a Facebook Live kind of public class on Saturdays. And I've been offering all the students private virtual classes throughout this time as well to help supplement, not getting that face-to-face. And it's been great. Starting next week, we start all of our regular programming. Every class is just replicated virtually. 3 classes each day, 1 for each of the age groups, having the Tigers on Saturdays, as well as an extra Tigers class on Tuesdays, including all the private classes. We've also stepped up our kind of video game, right? I've been spending a lot of time over the last 2-3 weeks. You've helped me, Sienna's helped me, recording a lot of our curriculum on video and posting that to our private Facebook group so that our students can kind of practice at home on their own if they need little tweaks and details that, it's a bit harder to get that in virtually. Obviously, martial arts is something that ideally you would not want to learn video or online, right? The ideal place to learn martial arts is in a school or in an academy with someone right in front of you. But that's not an option today. So the second best is virtual, and try to supplement that as much as I can with as much video content as I can do. And I've been really, really fortunate. We've been having fantastic attendance from our student population. You've seen we've had upwards of 16 to 18 people in a class virtually, which, if you're a larger school, that may not sound huge, but that's basically what we have in our physical classes.
Yeah, it's been like almost 100% attendance, essentially.
Yeah, it's been great. There's a couple people that haven't been able to, but now that next week we're starting the regular class times, they're being supportive. Our student population has let us know they're super supportive of us through this time. They understand kind of the modifications and changes we need to make, and they've been great. So I can't thank the support we got from our students enough. And even things like our landlord, right? This is a scary time. A lot of businesses, especially kind of recreational businesses like ours in town and everywhere, are really struggling. They pay really, really high rent, and the only income is memberships, right? There's no other sources of income. And if your students decide that this is not what they want, decide to stop paying, you can. I have a couple of school owner friends of mine that are thinking about bankruptcy because they're not sure if this can make it, if their landlord isn't giving them a bit of a break. My landlord's been fantastic. He's offered to work with me to see how he can kind of help me kind of ride this out. And as a new business that, is still not profitable because I've not even been open for a year, I can't say how much I appreciate that. He's been fantastic.
That's awesome. Well, I was gonna say, we can definitely get into that and how it's changing it, but I definitely want to give you some of the feedback on the classes because it's been interesting, right? And I know for a lot of people, it's scary. In the martial arts world, especially, the virtual stuff is really scary. But I can definitely, definitely give you some feedback. It's been awesome. We were gamers, growing up playing video games, and it's really cool because it gets you that connection to the people that aren't there, and the chat ability, and you can hear them when we all say yes, Sifu. We all, it's cool because you can kind of hear everybody key-eyeing together. So feedback from me, it's really cool. It's like I said, it's not as good as being in the class, not as good as getting sweat on sweat.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It's a nice thing to, like you said, it's better than sitting at home with my hands, right? It's better than trying to remember everything.
Yeah, and solutions like Zoom are helping to be interactive. It's not, they're just not watching a video of me. I ask them questions, as you notice. I'll ask them, hey, what makes a good forward stance? And I say, hey, Sally, Jesse, Peter, and what are those answers? And they raise their hand and they say yes, Sifu, and they give the answers, and everyone else learns. They see the whole class. It's not just me watching them and them watching me. They're watching the whole class, and it's pretty powerful.
I like that. Yeah. So what, I got a quick question, I guess, gonna be,
Yeah,
everything goes back to normal tomorrow.
yeah.
What are you gonna keep? What elements of this do you think are, I mean, maybe as an industry, what elements of this new change do you think are gonna stay with us?
Yeah, I think the big thing I'm going to keep doing is more video recordings of the basics, right? So it's something that it's one of the things that, at least for me myself, I've always wanted to. If I had time, I would have done it
Yeah.
before, and not that I have the time now. I still have a
Still
full-time
working.
job, and
Yeah.
I still have a full-time job during the day, and I do this in the evenings and weekends. But out of necessity, I had to do it. And the feedback I've been getting is the students are really appreciating, especially the adult students, right?
Yeah.
Adult students, sometimes need a little more kind of detail, need to review things a bit more. Kids are like sponges that pick things up really quickly. So those videos of those basics, I'm likely going to continue doing and updating, and also this concept that I'm creating. I'm almost done submitting my publishing the first one, but these grading preparation guides, video, kind of go through all the list of requirements and show you what all those are for the first couple of ranks of each program.
That's cool.
I think they're really, really valuable. And it shows, it kind of helps students visualize if they're cramming and, for some reason they're sick and they can't attend the class for a week, they can kind of watch this and review it.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I think that's a great element or a great addition to it. And like I said, it's logical, right? These are the times where we need to do it. But like you said, nothing beats, hand on the hand, especially like you said, in a martial arts like Hapkido, and especially, with the fusion, that self-defense is such a huge element. Like you said, maybe I think, did you mention that you're interested in doing some more videos as well, like even self-defense techniques and things, you think?
Yeah,
I think
so
we'll
the
get into
videos in
that.
self-defense, I'm going to get into that a bit more. The self-defense techniques are difficult. You kind of have to see from every angle, right? So you kind of have to, even when I'm teaching someone in person, I'm doing part of the technique and okay, turn around, watch this part, right? Watch back and forth. And really the best way to learn self-defense is to have it done on you as well.
Mhm.
So, the forms and the kicks and the blocks and the strikes, those you can do have a pretty good approximation of that learning journey, as long as someone's watching you live and correcting you, because you can look at foot formation. But when you get to the self-defense, the break falls, uh, you need a partner, right? So if you don't have a partner, you can't learn that stuff. So you can, if you know it, you can practice it without a partner. That's easy, but you can't. It's difficult to learn it without a partner.
That's true.
And that's what we're finding. That's what I keep enforcing to my students, because they're asking to learn. Some of them are asking to learn more, and if they don't have a sibling or a family member that's willing to come do it with them, it's really, really tough to do. But the great thing about our curriculum at BMA or Volpe Martial Arts, the breadth is so wide, right? There's so much in our curriculum that we can go, 2 months without touching self-defense, and still a lot of other curriculum to learn and master. And you can never practice too much.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, the basics. Every martial art is going to tell you the same, right? Every discipline, right? Any sport, any art itself, the basics are the key, and there's there's always time to practice the
Yeah,
basics, right?
you look at like professional like baseball players, they still throw the ball around, right? All the time, right?
Every day.
Simple thing, throwing the ball. They've been doing it since they're 4 years
Yeah,
old. They still do it to warm up every practice because it's important. You
yeah,
need to do that, right? And you can get better every time you do that.
cool.
So what I've been focusing on in the group classes is a lot of the basics, right? Because that's where that's something you can never practice enough of. And then I've been using the private classes to really emphasize kind of helping people excel through their curriculum.
Cool. Yeah, and like you said, the group classes, along with practicing the technique and the actual form and everything, it really does bring that group dynamic back again. One of the reasons why a lot of people join martial arts, a lot of people join any kind of group activity is for a social interaction. So I really like that we're still able to get some form of that with technology these days. So thankfully
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
great. And yeah, great.
yeah. So next question is, personally then, what have you been, how have you been handling kind of everything? I know
Yeah.
you're still working, right? You still have a regular job. You're still doing
Yeah.
this, evenings and weekends and everything. My whole thing with Fatso rated, right? Eat healthy, sleep well, trying to move a little bit. How are you maintaining all that, or how are you finding the balance? Did you find it struggling?
Yeah, so my day job is now work from home, which it wasn't before, and I'm not traditionally not a huge fan of work from home. It's good to do it. Yeah, I don't mind doing it here and there, but I'm a social person, which is why I like martial arts and why I joined martial arts as a kid, and again as an adult. I'm pretty social. I like being around a lot of people. Um, so my preference would be in an office working with people, or in our academy working with people rather than at home. But yeah, obviously moving from home, I'm fortunate that my company, it's very easy. We kind of made the decision one day to work from home the next day, and we're all at home.
Well,
Virtual meetings like this, like Zoom, have been pretty effective. And yeah, it's working well. I still kind of go to the academy myself. Not, I don't have students there, but either myself or with you or with Sienna, my daughter, to kind of help record some of the videos and things like that. Really isolating as much as possible, our family, and not really extending past that.
yeah, that's been
Trying our
tough.
best. It's been tough. You go down the street, and if you're going for a bike ride around the block with your kids, and people look at you funny, wondering why you're outside, and there's different levels of kind of sensitivity around it. And
Yeah,
we've been trying to be pretty careful without going insane. We still leave the house. We have a dog. We still go for a walk with the dog, but the dog's not off leash as much as she used to be. We don't go to the dog parks and stuff like that. Just trying to be safe and trying to be cautious. Telling the kids how important it is to do what we have always told them to do, is wash their hands, and like, it's even more important now and stuff like that.
yeah,
But it's been cool. We've been able to, like, the kids are at home, right? So their day is a bit mixed between, they're still doing homework and schoolwork, and they play around. But like my son Michael just today learned how to do a front flip on the trampoline for the first time, landing it, and he's spent like the last week and a half just every day
nice.
pounding on that trampoline to try to do it, and he got it, which is awesome.
That is
Um,
awesome.
yeah, so that's kind of fun. But yeah, that's it. But the
Yeah.
work from home is not my ideal situation.
Yeah. How has the adjustment been? Because I know, like, we've talked in the past over the years, right?
Yeah.
Me, ideally, I'd love to work from home. Like you said, you generally like in the office. I mean, you're getting used to it, obviously, but
Yeah, I get used to it. I think the thing that's helping is because everyone's at home, everyone has to accommodate to that. So we've done a lot of things in our company. My company's been great with doing, we've have kind of virtual lunches together
oh,
a couple of days a week. We have
that's cool.
kind of virtual stand up or touch bases a couple times a week with the team. And because everyone's working at home, you can't forget to dial people in on meetings, where if you're the only person that works from home, it's easy for the people in the office to start the meeting without you, and then 10 minutes later realize, oh damn, I forgot to include Adam, or whatever the case was, right? And that's not as easy to do. Well, it's almost impossible to do now because you can't have a meeting without opening up the bridge.
That's true. Yeah. So everybody's in the same situation now. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, but some things are slower, right? You can't just walk up to someone and have a conversation with four people. You have to dial them all in, make sure they're available, make sure they're at their desk, because it's not just we're working from home and taking care of our families at home at the same time. So people's days are a bit staggered.
That's true.
Some people are working like 2 hours on, 1 hour off, 2 hours on, 1 hour off, so they can kind of swap with their significant other to take care of the dog or the kids or whatever the case is.
Yeah, that's kind of the case with us. I mean, with Fatima at home and I'm at home, we're both working remote. Like we said, we work in tech, right? Um, it's great. We're fortunate that we can still work. We
Mm,
say that every day. We're so lucky. At the same time, it's pain in the butt. It's an adjustment because we got the kids and everything. But it really is an adjustment with, like I was joking with you before, I don't work 8 hours or 9 hours anymore. It feels like I'm working 16 hours. It's not 16 hours straight, but it's 2 hours here, an hour off. Got to cook lunch. I got to go for a walk
yep,
because it's going to drive me nuts.
yep,
Yeah, so it kind of makes it a longer day, but at the same time, it's, you're not rushed in the morning. It's a different element. I actually don't
mm,
mind it in a lot of ways. And then on the other kind of side of things, spending a ton of time with our kids, that's awesome.
mm,
Right. And I really like that a lot. So it's challenging. Like you said, we were always out in the fire pit yesterday trying to rearrange the stones and everything because I got to move that fire pit 5 meters away. And then I find that there's an Ontario-wide a ban on fires. So who knows?
really?
Yeah, I don't know who's going to police it if who knows. But yeah, it's been interesting to kind of work from home. And like I said, my job, whatever I do from home, it's pretty much the same as I can do in the office.
Mm,
In fact, this in some ways kind of forces us to really use your technology, right? To really use the capabilities that, you know, sometimes we would have used things by paper in some companies. Now we're like, ah, no choice anymore, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of is good. Now, how about kind of your fitness, your how you kind of been eating? Has it kind
Yeah,
of been up in the air?
it's harder. So I guess it's harder and easy. So I think I've told you last time. At work, I kind of rally people around doing push-ups a lot, and we have this push-up channel on Slack that we use at work, and we kind of been ramping it up a bit more. I've been doing every hour or two. I think I've been averaging about 250 push-ups a day,
Jeez.
doing like 40 or 50 at a time, and staying throughout the day. And people at work are doing it too. And if I find that I'm busy and I miss it, I get a ping from people at work. Hey, Adam, you haven't done push-ups yet. So
Will you guys do
um,
it on over Zoom or something, or just
no, not usually over
ping
Zoom. We
them?
just do it and then post it in Slack. Say I did 20, I did 50, and we have a
Nice.
bot that kind of calculates how many you've done and what your average is and that kind of stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's pretty fun. So push-ups and stuff have been good at. I was doing the virtual private classes. So the virtual group classes have been good because because I'm not walking around correcting people on their fitness. I'm doing it with them,
That's true.
which is good. So from that perspective, it's good. I'm not doing as many classes right now, although I'll start more. I suspect my fitness will increase a bit more next week.
If
But
you're doing three a
again,
day.
yeah, if I do 3 day, and I think eventually I might end up doing more than 2 days a week as well, or more than 3 days a week. But that's good, I think. But again, my outside of those classes, my motivation is lower because I'm a social. I do everything socially. Not that I'm super extroverted. I'm probably introverted, but I'm the introvert that likes doing things with other people. It's kind of weird, but
Yeah, it's a herd
yeah.
mentality. You like that? It's good.
I do. I don't like, I don't like doing anything by myself. When I finish the basement, Carlos is watching me. I'll hang the drywall by myself. I
Yeah.
just need you to watch me, right?
I'm a good
So
helper when it comes to watching. So yeah, so it's like
yeah.
you
What about
said,
you?
it's pretty much the same thing. I mean, you know me, I do my push-ups in the morning and my crunches and my squats, and
Yeah,
I just went up to 90 now, so it's difficult.
it's
But
crazy.
I'm crushing through those things, and then it's good. It's funny, like you know, I'm still trying to go for my walks at lunch. Over the winter I kind of slowed down, and then I'm starting to get up again, which is good. I'm dragging the girls out, which is
Oh, good.
better. But yeah, and it's just, you know, classes kind of with you. My diet's been crazy. It's been like,
Mm.
you know, if I now is my day to confession, but you know, like I've been home, so I've been trying to cook for the girls more, right? Which comes with cooking is baking, and then there's cookies and there's cakes and there's all this. So
Yeah, I hear you, Mike.
crazy.
I thought working at home would be better for diet because of not all the snacks. At work, we have crazy snacks, but
Yeah,
every time I go upstairs, I grab something, and now I have to cook something if I want it, or I just grab a bowl of cereal with the kids, or like a handful of dry cereal, or
yeah,
Because Marg's at home, she's baking like crazy and cookies every day, or
I
something
know.
else, and we pound through those. And, if they're there, I'll eat them,
Me
right?
too. Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah, I know. It's
Yeah,
the
so we
same
go
thing.
through those a lot. So trying to get a bit better. April 1st is when I'm cooking. I'm going to be strict again, and
Cool.
better than it was in March, but not
Yeah.
fantastic still.
I guess the key usually is probably gonna be just like anything else planned. Like a couple days, we got some meat, so we got a roast out. You know, we slow cooked it, have it in the oven, or you know, then you have it for a couple days, things like that,
Yeah,
which is always nice. Because I don't mind snacking on things like leftovers and leftover steak or whatever it is. I can always eat
yeah,
that. So cool.
awesome.
Other than that, like I mean, how's it going with kind of the stress level of all this stuff? I mean, I've been trying to be cool
Yeah,
with it all, right?
yeah,
Like we said, you know, I'm compliant. I follow the rules, right?
yeah,
And we're just trying to be safe. I mean,
yeah. I'm nervous about. I'm just nervous about the economy, and a
yeah,
bit selfishly, I'm nervous about me. Like I said, in my first year of a new business, and
sure.
the first year of any new business is hard in a normal
Yeah,
situation, and when you know things are at risk. Like, even if I'm fortunate enough not to lose any students throughout this time, it's unlikely that I'm going to get a whole lot of new students. I have had uh, one new student join in the last week, and a couple other on trials, which is really positive.
that's cool.
Um, but it's going to be tough, and if things kind of go back to normal in June, that's not when people usually join fitness activities,
Yeah,
especially for the kids. I wait till September for things like this. But on the flip side, I'm trying to be optimistic, right? There's an opportunity for me to, like we talked about, doing things that I've always wanted to do, updating curriculum, creating videos. There's another school of thought that, if this goes back to normal in May or June, that might be another boom for the fitness industry, like September is, because
yeah,
kids have been cooped up at home for 2-3 months, and parents want to get them out.
maybe.
Now that will balance with, do people have money if they've been out of work, and if
Yeah,
companies are laying people off, they may not have the money to do that. And I'll do what I always do, is try to do whatever I can to help people manage that from a finance perspective. And
sure.
if I can have specials or things to help people go through it, I'll do that. But yeah, from a health perspective, I'm not. not overly concerned. You know, we're relatively healthy. We're kind of following all the rules. So I think I don't think we're at any significant risk because we're doing what we're told to do. We're not letting kind of strangers come in, check our furnace and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Think as long as our furnace and air conditioner don't break, which we don't need either one of them right now, which is good.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not. I'm nervous for the seniors in our society. Like I'm nervous for our parents. I'm nervous for my in-laws and that kind of stuff. So we're ultra, even though like I'm pretty casual about me and Marg and the kids, I'm a bit less casual when it comes to like my in-laws. I'm like, we're not going to see them, right?
Yeah.
We're lucky enough that they have video. We can have video chat with them and stuff like that, but it's not worth it. They're in their late 60s, early 70s, right?
Yeah.
And no, don't want to take that risk. And it's different if we were back in the Sioux. I don't know, it's a bit more isolated. You can kind of the spread is a bit tougher, but here people on top of you, they go to the grocery store. There's a million people at the grocery store every day.
Yeah.
Everyone's touching different apples and all that fun stuff, right? So
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things that I'm surprised about. Like, I hear every end of the spectrum, right? Not to get our tinfoil hats on, but you hear every end of the spectrum where on one hand, everybody's saying, stay inside. It's crazy out there. What's everybody doing? And then on the other hand, I'm thinking, well, most people are pretty compliant. And I think most people do listen for the most part. But it's funny. I did go to the grocery store the other day to pick up, some things. And in and out, right? But there was surprisingly more people than I thought, right, would be there. But I guess the thing is, a lot of people are home, right?
mhm.
And I mean, I don't know. I mean, the whole idea, the social distancing thing, it really is hard for us. This is an exercise that's hard for most people. I
Yeah.
find that, we're used to just being able to go. This is also showing us how lucky we are to have the freedom to just go wherever we want.
Yeah, like we had like the kids have been playing basketball and basketball hit the light on the outside of the house and it snapped right off. So I had to go buy a new light for the outside of our house. So
Yeah.
I went to Home Depot and they have before you get in the store, they have the lineup where like every 10 feet you have to space out the lines to get in the store. Only 50 people in the
Wow.
store. So that was kind of interesting. Like, what's going to be like when I get inside? To get inside the store was like nothing changed, right? There's
Okay.
face shield, there's screens in front of the cashiers, but like the aisles, there's no difference. Everything else is kind of pretty cash.
Okay.
So I don't know, but I think a store like Home Depot, maybe it's big enough that the aisles are wide enough. They assume you're going to be responsible and not do anything stupid. But yeah, I don't know. It's been what 3 weeks. What's going to be like if this is still like this in another 3 to 6 weeks? People are going to start going stir crazy. I'm a little bit worried about kind of people's mental health over time. Because some people can't be isolated, or like our seniors, right? I have a close friend that works with me that her dad's not feeling well at all. He's quite ill, and so he's in the hospital in the ICU, and his no one is allowed to visit him.
Yeah.
So he's by himself in the scariest time of his life,
That's hard.
and he's not allowed to interact with anybody.
Yeah.
No one's allowed to see him. You get updates once a day if you're lucky from the hospital staff, and it's not because the hospital's doing anything wrong. They're trying the best they can. They just can't keep up with it. They can't commit to calling you 5 times a day, right?
Yeah.
So it's scary times, right? So I think we're fortunate that, and he's not ill because of this. It's a different illness, but it's impacting his health and both physical and mental health as a result. He can't get certain treatments because they're worried about the impacts of COVID
Yeah.
and how that may impact his treatments. It's kind of scary. So
Yeah.
I'm more concerned about kind of the older people in our society than and, the ones, especially the ones we care about.
Yeah. Well, I guess I mean the best we could hope for is that, like I said, we flatten the curve, like they say, but then it comes and it passes, and then I don't know what the picture looks like in a year from now, even if the curve is flattened. But I guess is that eventually we all get some sort of an immunity, whether we get it lightly. I mean, there's even some talks the other day that many of us may have already experienced it during January or even December. So who
Maybe,
really
yeah,
knows, right? But I
it's
guess
tough.
the hope is things get back to normal as soon as possible. We hope. Um, and then, yeah, I mean, other than that, it's funny. The other thing that has changed for a lot of people, and I wonder this has changed for you guys, probably not as much, but you guys generally don't eat out a lot, right?
No.
So you're eating at home. Us,
Yeah,
we, for
from that
example,
perspective, our kind of social life hasn't changed a whole lot.
yeah, our social life hasn't changed at all either, except I guess eating out. And we do generally still, when I go out, I still try to eat, the things I can. But we generally, not that we eat out a lot, but we eat out regularly. So like once a week, regularly, right? And that sort of
Yeah,
thing. I mean, it's not a sacrifice by any means, right?
yeah.
Because we can still get, in my opinion, the home food at home is better anyway. But yeah, it's funny. There's a lot of people out there, I think, that are struggling.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are. We don't eat out. Like I think if
Oh,
we eat
yeah.
out once every 2 months, that's lots. We don't eat out at all. I think the impact of the social isolation for us is more kids hanging out with their friends,
In-laws.
us
family.
seeing the in-laws, or us just going to a store to do whatever we want. Like
Yeah,
Mark, you know, if you need to go to a store get something, you just don't care. Like I was supposed to go to the grocery store today, and we're like, oh, do we need to? Maybe we'll wait a couple
yeah.
days.
Well, it's
And those
yeah.
kind of things, right?
Well, it's weird. Like for the first time in my life, like I'm not supposed to go see you, my brother,
Yeah,
right? You think how
yeah,
weird that is, right? All shit that things go on in people's lives, people dying, people,
yeah,
surgeries, and I'm not allowed to go. I'm not supposed to go see you, right?
yeah.
And that's the scary thing too, is that people that are getting sick are in the hospital and they're alone. That's terrifying, right?
Yeah, yeah, me too. I'm really worried about the next step, quite honestly. Like if they start mandating kind of isolation, right? They, we talk, in like some countries are not letting you leave your home, or not letting you leave straight, or having kind of barricades so you can't leave your neighborhood and stuff like that. And I, I'm kind of on the fence about some of that stuff. You know, like sure, it's I don't like someone telling me what I can do.
Yeah, like to do over policing of a state. Yeah, I get it. It's just too much
Yeah,
sometimes, right? Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's one of those things that yeah, you're right. They're risking someone's health, but technically, driving a car is risking someone's health too. So what's the where's the line?
Yeah.
And I don't want to downplay this crisis because I know it's pretty significant, but um, I don't know what the right and wrong or what the right answer is. I just know it's approaching the point where I'm starting to feel uncomfortable with it.
Yeah.
But I don't have an alternative. I don't have a better suggestion.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I can't really criticize it.
yeah. Well, hopefully, like I said, I mean, from what I'm reading, we're fairly compliant here in Ontario. We're doing fairly well. The numbers are fairly well. I mean, as fairly well as they can be. But I guess the next couple of weeks are going to tell. The last thing I heard is that basically the next month, right, is I'm working from home for the next month, and a lot of people are working from home for the next month. And I think the premier's just announced that school's out for at least another month, right?
Yeah, yeah. The earliest possible thing would be the beginning of May. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see. I mean, if it's hard, man, it's hard to stay out. It's hard to stay. I mean, it's not hard to stay in your house that much, I guess. And as long as you have a little bit of, you can go outside and do some stuff around the yard work. But they're discouraged. Like I think we talked about earlier. They're saying in Ontario that we're not. They're not. Sorry, how am I saying? They're discouraging or they're banning fires. I guess, right?
Yeah, I don't understand that. Is that related to COVID?
Yeah. Excuse me. I think it is. I
Uh,
think it's basically to avoid resources, firefighters, and not any extra kind of dangers or any extra risk that would kind of add, or any resources that it would kind of. And I get it, I guess, but at the same time, like, hey, the dump's closed, they're not doing yard pickup, I'm cleaning up my backyard, I'm gonna burn shit, maybe, like, what are you gonna do, right? So I don't know, I gotta figure out a way to,
I
I
mean,
don't know.
you may still be able to get a permit or something. Who knows? But
I don't know, yeah, I don't know, it's
yeah,
when
it's odd. I think it's or one of those things that like you want to take advantage of being outside. So you want to have cook over a fire rather than another way to do that, right? And kind of if you normally go camping every year in May with your family, do you want to like pretend to pitch a tent and have a campfire in your backyard and around a fire pit,
Yeah, which would
right?
normally be acceptable, right? And you're doing the same thing. You're still being socially distant. Right? You're
Yeah,
still staying in with your
yeah.
own family of four or whatever. So,
Yeah, I know a big thing they're doing too is like Marg, she runs, right? So my
yeah.
wife, so she they're not they don't they're telling people not to, not even not to run together, but not to drive to a place where you normally run, like run in your neighborhood.
Oh yeah.
So like we live up by Rim Park, and they're the city is stopping people from parking in the parking lots around the diamonds because they're thinking if you don't live close enough to walk here, you shouldn't be coming here.
Wow.
Yeah, so they've been the last few days they've been kind of kicking people out of the parking lots, and if people are like walking their dogs walking around, they're waiting for them by their car and saying, "Hey, you shouldn't be over here." And it's interesting,
It's just
and I
basically
understand that.
discouraging travelers, I guess, right?
Yeah, discouraging leaving your vicinity, right? So because
Yeah.
the thought is if you have to
Discouraging
drive
entertainment.
somewhere, then more people will do that as well. Where if you walk around your neighborhood, it's limiting the exposure, and you're less likely to have a big group of people together.
Well, and I mean, in a simple way too. I guess if you're bringing your germs to another part of town, you're spreading them,
Yeah,
right? And for another
yeah,
hours or so. I mean, they say
yeah,
it stays in the air for a couple hours. That's pretty crazy. So
yeah. Who
I don't know.
knows? Who knows?
Um,
Crazy, crazy.
yeah.
Um, yeah, but I don't know what to make of this stuff, and I don't like I said I can criticize some of what they're doing, but I don't know how to do it differently. I can't suggest a better plan of attack. And if I think you and I joked early on when this first started happening in early March, I kind of thought it was a bit of a farce.
Well,
I
who
don't
knows, right?
necessarily feel that way anymore.
Hmm.
Not that I'm convinced that it's it's as serious as it is, but I know for a lot of people it is, and I'm I kind of I'm I'm cautiously kind of following all the guidelines because I don't want to take a chance. I'm not going to be the stupid guy that says, "Oh, this is crap," and then not actually listen and then risking myself or my family, right? So,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. You can't take the
yeah,
chance, but it's also normal to look at it like with skeptical eyes, like everything these days. Like, you know, who knows? I mean, everything from politics to who knows. Right now we can believe this guy, but
yeah,
yesterday we couldn't. Right?
yeah, exactly. So
It's
it's
hard
tough.
to
It's
make
tough.
sense of it. Well, I mean, it sounds like we have a you have a plan, I guess. What you're
Yeah, I have
doing
a
right
plan. Like
now.
I'm pretty optimistic. I'm normally an optimistic guy anyway, but I'm
Yeah.
pretty optimistic about like not only me and my family and like you and your family and business and stuff like that. Like things are gonna go. Like we're gonna come across hard times. Not the first time any of us have, and you see a lot of things on social media that is true. Like if the hardest thing we have to do is stay inside, and a couple of us lose our job,
Yeah.
that's much better than having to send our kids out to war or
Yeah.
anything like that, right? So
Absolutely.
um, it's a relatively small sacrifice, even if even if I wake up tomorrow or you wake up tomorrow, we don't have a job tomorrow. It's life, right?
Yeah.
But we're still healthy. We're a lot of us are fortunate that if that happens, we have resources that we can rely on, right? So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
And like you said, it's a time that's reminding everybody. I hear it every day. I hear it online. I see it all these memes. It's reminding everybody what's important, right? We
yeah,
read it in books, we read it on the newspaper all the time, but now it's like there's no denying now what's important. It's the family, it's the friends, it's the connections, right? It's if I can't go over there and send you, give you a cup of sugar if you need it, well, I can send you $4 now, or online. There's things we
yeah,
can do now to help each other. It doesn't have to be, physically there. But no, it's a good reminder.
yeah. Even my in-laws, for example, like they don't do any online banking, right? So they go to the bank to pay the bills. Bank's closed.
Yeah.
They can't go pay the bills. Like, what do you do? Like, give us a check, we'll pay your bill for you, right? And they're like, well, you can't cash check. I can cash my check with my phone, right? So I can take a picture of my check, do online check deposit, right? And
Yeah.
you can take care of it that way. And yeah, you can help people out that way. It's pretty easy to do. She says, well, what if I can't? I'm not allowed to see you to send you a check. Take a picture of the check, send it to me. That's good enough too, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot you can do to help people to just make their lives easier and kind of help people de-stress. Because I think that's the biggest health risk right now for people
For
that aren't
sure.
getting the virus is the stress levels are going through the roof.
It is. It is people
Um,
anxiety, right? People are panicking.
yeah,
I mean, there's normal anxiety out there, and there's normal panic or not normal panic, I guess, but it's common to worry, right? I guess, and everything.
yeah,
And so it's times like this. It's funny. I'm seeing two reactions as well. I'm seeing some people are having a reaction, more like a not a common reaction, but an expected reaction where they are panicking. But other people are having a much different reaction where they're like, "Hey, this is a good eye opener. This is a good, good perspective kind of, builder, I guess, where it shows, because for a lot of people that have been through real hard stuff in their life, right?
mhm,
This is almost like a prep, not a prep, but it's almost like it's like, hey, we know what it's like to go through some stressful times, and it's like lean on those people that have gone through something because maybe maybe they have some solutions.
yeah,
I don't know,
absolutely,
but like you said, I mean, optimistic is the key, right? To anything, we'll get through it. Just keep our heads if we can.
for sure.
Yeah, well, thanks so much, man.
Um,
Great episode. Any parting words for everybody? I mean, stay
no,
fit.
yeah, I think the only thing is, a big way to keep your sanity is to stay active, right? So whatever you do, whether it's martial arts, and again, volpemartialarts.com, come check out
Yeah,
either our virtual classes, we have the free ones, but find something. There's a ton of fitness facilities out there that are doing free classes, free online live classes on Facebook or Zoom or whatever. Find something to stay active, even if you're not normally an active person. Um, you're likely more active than you think. Even if you just go to work and come back, you're walking around work, and if you're at home, you're not getting those steps in. Which I laugh when people count steps, but now is a great time for people to count steps. If you're just going from your desk to your kitchen and back to your desk all day long, that's you're not moving. You're moving even less. And a lot of people in the workforce, me, I have a stand-up desk when I'm at the office. I don't have that now, so I find myself sitting down more than I ever have,
me too.
and it's difficult. So just get up, move around for your sanity or for your family sanity, but it also gives you an opportunity to be active with your family, with your spouse, with your kids, with your loved one, right? Like join something today. Sit and do yoga. Sit and do martial arts. Sit and do something.
Sure.
Most people have large TVs at home. They connect their phone to or their laptop to, and we'll do this stuff at home as a family. It takes 15 minutes to half an hour,
Yeah.
and might be a good time to instill some good habits in your family to do together. Fitness. A lot of kids don't have maybe as much physical activity as they should. It's a good opportunity to instill some of those habits because you have at least a month to do that.
Yeah. That's great advice, Adam. Thank you so much. And it makes a lot of sense because, like you said, we have this time with our family. If you're home, and even if you're not home, if you're still working, you're still seeing your family more than you normally would, right?
Yeah,
So let's take advantage of this time. And yeah, I mean, if you want to follow me on Fatso at Fatso Radio on Instagram, every morning I do push-ups. I'm up to 90
there you go.
push-ups, crunches, and squats. And then yeah, like you said, also email me, of course, anytime. FatsoRadio@gmail.com. And again, Sifu Adam, it was VolpeMartialArts.com.
OpenMartialArts.com.
Awesome. And you have the free class every Saturday now. We're doing the live class.
This coming Saturday, and then I'll next Saturday regular classes start. So I'm going to pick a
Perfect.
different time. So stay tuned for that. But it'll be at least once a week.
Awesome.
A free Facebook Live class, and you can check out. We've done at least 2 of them already. You can go to our Facebook page,
Cool.
Volpe Martial Arts, to check that out.
Awesome. And again, it's tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.
Tomorrow morning, 10 a.m.
All right. I'll be there.
April 4th. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Sounds good. Thanks again, Sifu.
Yeah, thanks, Carlo. Appreciate it. Have a good
My
one.
pleasure. Love you, man. Take care.
Me too.
Bye.
Later, buddy.